morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to Morning Teen Allegations. This is your host, Petty B, and I'm so excited to be with you today. All right. Amen. 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 It's been a little minute since I've been here trying to change some things up and figure some things out. So let's go ahead and get started with the church announcements. Amen. So the church announcements, Teaching for the Culture is joining ConnectSafely in support of Safer Internet Day. There's more than 100 countries around the world that are celebrating Safer Internet Day, and that is on February 9th. And so I want you to learn more about ConnectSafely and Safer Internet Day. It's at sid/usa.org. And I need y'all to be intentional with this. We need to make the internet a safer place, especially for our children. Amen. Amen. Okay. Good morning. I hope all is well with you. Okay. Let's continue. The Sunshine Education Coalition is hosting another virtual panel for their 28 Days in the Black Youth Experience. Make sure that you tune in on Monday at 6 p.m. at the Sunshine Education Coalition. Also, if you would like your events or promo during the church announcements, reach out via email so that we can talk and figure out what would be mutually beneficial. Okay, so that concludes our church announcements for this morning. Let's go ahead and run the disclaimers because I think that people need a refresher yet again. Thank you, church members, as we have additional announcements and disclaimers that require your full attention. I report the news, so don't try me with the copyright. In addition, the views and opinions on Morning Teen Allegations belong to me. If you have any questions, bring your receipts so that we can talk. If you get froggy with me, don't expect me to go high and be the bigger person. I will clap back in sage later. God is still working on me. Thank you for your attention and govern yourselves accordingly. Amen. My Facebook page is not a democracy. I just want to just throw this out here. For those of you that reach out to me and then you send me a message and then you like unsend a message, not only did you not respect my time, but then now like it piques my curiosity as to what you sent me in my inbox and then you removed it. So I'm getting to the point where I just feel like I just need to close my DMs because like it's a floodgate and it's a lot of stuff going on and I can only do so much. I'm going to say that the best way to reach me is with email. Social media is just not going to be the good place to reach out to me, especially if you want me to be fast with my response. So if you are sending me a message, okay, please don't unsend it. So when I actually do have the opportunity to see it, like it says that you unsent the message. I just want to see what you said. Okay. Parents, did you know when report cards come out? Well, I'm going to tell you and I'm a snitch because y'all need to know when report cards come out because y'all need to be intentional with checking these grades and checking what your kids have. And for the life of me, I don't understand how parents don't know this information, but I'm here to provide education to the community. And so let's go ahead and run through it. So Hillsborough County Public Schools, you have elementary school, their report cards will be available on the 8th. Middle school, their report cards are already available. In high school, their report cards are available today. You can view their report cards online at reportcards.hdhc.k12.fl.us. Okay, parents, please check those report cards. Now we're going to continue on and we're going to go to Pinellas County. Pinellas County, their report cards are already out. Okay. Now on their website, they did identify that there was going to be notifications sent out to parents in regards to retention. Those notices will be sent on or before February 12th. So that is something to keep in your radar, parents in Pinellas County. To view that online is focus.pcsb.org. Amen. Moving on, Manatee County. Manatee County went on the website and it wasn't even on the calendar. So Manatee County, I really need you to do better with being very transparent on your website to make it easier for families to see what is going on. So I did pull up a school that did do updates, and it was an elementary school. So they did say that report cards are available and that they were available on the 2nd. I'm not sure about middle or high school, so I did not put a date there because I did not have any receipts, but you can go view at focus.manateeschools.net. Okay. And then moving on to Polk County, the report cards come out today. Okay. So, if you're in Polk County, please go to focusk12.polk/fl.net/focus. Please and thank you. Okay. Okay. So it's really important that you check your kids' grades and know what's going on. And there's some parents that do not even know their children's teachers. You don't even know their name. I don't understand it. I'm trying to figure it out. But you need to know who is influencing your children, whether that's on social media, in the classroom, their friends. Like you should know these things. And so there's the information. I will post it on Teaching for the Culture in a condensed format so that everyone can see it in the Tampa Bay area when report cards come out. And let's keep that same energy, the same energy where you wanted to post, the brand new outfits that your kids have. Come on, let's go ahead and post these report cards and let's see what them grades looking like. Because for the life of me, I just don't understand it. Okay. All right. So moving forward, we done went through all of that. When I was going through the research of all of these different school districts and when report cards come out, there was something that I noticed and I discovered. So first of all of the Tampa Bay districts besides Hillsborough use Focus. And so I was talking with a few educators about their process on submitting grades. And I'm just going to break this down. So in Hillsborough County, they actually moved to Canvas. And that was after the EDSB outage. And so the district was changing over from EDSB so they can be to Clever. Well, they still have both of the platforms. In fact, they actually renewed a contract with EDSB when they already had a contract with Clever. Mm-hmm. So like those things like that, when we talk about following the money, like, okay, pay attention. So they did not have a smooth transition. Canvas and EDSB, they do not talk to each other. They're two completely different systems. And so now you have educators that are taking their grades that they have in Canvas, and now they have to put it in EDSB to export their grades. And so now you have all of these different places that parents are checking this information, and it's complicated for them. But then I see all these other districts that are using Focus, and it seems to be a streamlined system. So I'm not sure what the infrastructure is happening in Hillsborough County, what the technology department is doing, but it just seems that there's a lot of obstacles that parents have to go through. And then yet we shame parents to say, well, they're not checking stuff. Well, when you give them like 5 different things to look at and there's no clear communication on the website or tutorials or anything, well, what do you expect? So parents are confused and frustrated. Teachers are frustrated and fed up. And again, I just say follow the money because we're paying for 2 different softwares that cannot talk to each other that's supposed to do the exact same thing. Like I said, follow the money. Okay. I don't know if you know, but Hillsborough County Public Schools also got a new website. So they're moving over and they're getting the same type of platform that Pinellas already had set up. So maybe, Hillsborough's changing up the times. Maybe they're upgrading their systems. We'll see. But I just hope people understand that this is costing you money. So when you're in Hillsborough County and you have to pay more in taxes, okay, this is why. Okay. I also want to share with you about the EPI. They posted a major study. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. And here. And boom. Boom. All right. So the Education Policy Institute actually conducted a study where they were studying children between the ages of 11, 14, and 17. There's a full report here. I will link it in the comments so that you're able to see it. But I just kind of want to review some of the things that this thing talked about. So hold on. Let me get my stuff together, get my receipt book together. Okay. So let's go ahead and post it up. So based on the new findings, the research determined that the pandemic will continue to exacerbate the existing mental health and well-being problems among our young people. And so the national estimates that 1 in 6 young people now have a probable mental illness, which went up from 1 in 9. So this study was conducted, and basically they saw a significant drop with self-esteem and with our children, and it was linked to high social media usage. The more that our kids use these devices, it seems that the unhappier they are, and so there just has to have a negative impact with the children's well-being and self-esteem, and social media is linked to it. You have girls that feel like they don't want to be, around. They want to, alter their body. They're doing this because of other influences. They're doing this because of what they see online, what they see in the media, what they see on social media. So, I want to caution parents. Like, I understand that kids have social media, you have social media, but are you really intentional with what they're looking at, what is feeding them? What are they watching? Who are they gathering their influence from? And that's the whole point that I want people to understand, is that, look, I'm not saying that the kids cannot have a cell phone, they cannot have social media. What I am saying is that you need to be intentional with the conversations that your children are having online, and also who are they talking to? What are they talking about? Because there's headlines after headlines coming out where children are running away and they're meeting people online. You have children that are getting involved in criminal activity because of the influence that they see online. Like, it's very dangerous. And so the studies there is linked so that you can see it. And the comment was like, even for adults, social media is a blessing and a curse at the same time. You're absolutely correct. Some adults can barely handle social media. Clout is a drug. I've said it several times. Clout is a drug. And once you get that hit, you are always going to want that hit. The developers of these social media programs intentionally set it up to where it makes you addicted. You are scrolling on your phone, the same movements, and they strategically have set this up where you are the product. You are the product of social media. Social media is free. You are the product. They are studying your behavior. They are studying what you like and what you don't like. And there's millions of machines and robots that are pushing stuff to you. You might have 5,000 friends and you only see the same 30 people. That is an algorithm, folks. And our kids are getting caught up in the algorithm, and they are deleting their pictures because they only have 9, 10 likes on their photo. And they feel as though they should have more likes because their friend has more likes on social media. And then they're just adding a bunch of people on social media that they don't even know. So, parents, I go back to you. At the end of the day, this is your device. You pay the bill, so you should know what's on it. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is human trafficking in the Super Bowl. Now, one thing about the Super Bowl, I've already noticed that there's people out here that's having all of these parties. And look, I have to go to the grocery store with y'all. We have to breathe the same air. And I just want y'all to make sure that y'all are extremely careful. There's a lot happening with this, football game, but folks, please be intentional. There's lives out here. There's people out here that can get really sick. And regardless of your own beliefs about COVID, it is real and is disproportionately impacting people that look like me. So I really hope that you are safe with the Super Bowl weekend. I hope that you practice social distancing, which let's not even go there. But the parties and the stuff that's happening in the community, please be mindful. Be mindful of what you're doing and what dangers you're setting. I don't know if you know, but Florida is in a state of emergency with COVID. Yeah. So we got Ronnie DeSantis to thank for that. So with that though, there is sex trafficking, human trafficking. And I'm glad that there's more conversation and headlines about it. This topic is typically hush, hush, quiet, quiet. People don't like to talk about it. But I'm glad that we are, because it's a real thing. I don't know if you know, but Florida is actually, I don't know who would be calling me while I'm on live. It's so rude. And then the fact that y'all calling from unknown numbers. But okay, it's beyond me. Florida is third in the nation for human trafficking, and Tampa Bay and Pinellas County is one of the problematic areas. It's right here. We have a problematic area for human trafficking, and I'm just let's go ahead and look at the facts, shall we? Okay. So there's between 100,000 and 300,000 sex trafficking victims under the age of 18 in the United States per year. 12 years old is the average age of entry into sexual exploitation, with some as young as 9. Their yearly profits generated around 32 billion, and sexual exploitation generates 28 billion a year. It's one of the fastest growing organized criminal activity, and that's only behind drug and armed trade. And so I want to show a resource to you, so that you are aware of it, and so that we can promote this organization that's doing great work in the Tampa Bay area to talk about this issue, and that is the Florida Dream Center. The Florida Dream Center, you can go to their website, floridadreamcenter.org. And this is the services page, where it has a list of so many services that they offer, from food trucks to if you're dealing with homelessness, if you're dealing with human trafficking, it has these listings here for you to have resources. So I will link it so that, maybe it can help someone that you know, or just me just spreading awareness. It can just bring that there. So I just want to say, please be safe. Please protect our children. Be aware of your surroundings, because it is really real. And I would not be doing justice if I did not use my platform to talk about something that serious. I also want to give a shout out to Hillsborough Commissioner Kimberly Overman. She was quoted in the Tampa Bay Times article saying, "Nobody grew up wanting to sell their body." And that was very powerful, because our children are involved in this, and that's not something that they want to do. It is something they can't consent to this. And this is why I don't understand why people say, well, this is what they want to do. They ran away and they got involved in it. And it's like shaming them. But we haven't gotten to the root as to why they're in that situation in the first place. And then we're also not holding the people accountable for what they're doing to children. It is just disrespectful, and it's just very harmful. And we just really need to change this whole situation. Like, this world is just so awful, especially what we're doing to our kids. It's not right. Moving forward, we have the Black Excellent highlight. So the Black History moment, we're going to talk about Willis Johnson. Now, I don't have a picture of him. And the reason why is because, there's so many pictures that say that it's Willis Johnson. But then when you go reverse search that image, then it says it's somebody else. And so we really didn't have a true internet archive of, the inventors and the change makers happening. And that's unfortunate, but that is, the times that we were in. And so hopefully we can create a robust database of pictures and finding some of these archives to preserve the legacy of these great people. But Willis Johnson, he is African American that was from Cincinnati, Ohio, and he patented the first mechanical egg beater. The patent number is 292821, and he did that on February 5th, 1994. Yeah, so today's a very impactful day for that. So, I just want to just say that we need more problem solvers and less entertainers. For the life of me, I don't understand why we continue to celebrate, all of these entertainers, but like, what are we creating? What type of generational wealth are we creating for our families? What solutions are we bringing to the table? How are we addressing the wealth gap, the inequities? What are we doing? So this is not to shame anyone in entertainment, of course, but it's just more the fact that we see that kids are going to school, and if you ask a child, what they want to be after school, if you ask a kid now, a lot of them will say that they want to be a YouTuber, that they want to be a social media star, they want to make TikToks. But I mean, is that it? You have kids that have been making TikToks since they were 14 years old. They're now 17, 18 years old, and they are losing their mind on the internet. The Underground series is great. Make sure you tap in. More episodes coming soon. But literally, you have children that are breaking down, and you have parents that are even complicit in it. You have parents that are actually allowing their children to quit school so that they can be full-time TikTok influencers, YouTube stars. Like, it's a whole thing. And meanwhile, some of these YouTube stars can't stay home, and they're out here flying from place to place, making YouTube videos for views in a pandemic. Okay. So the title of today's episode is Maxed Out. Okay. Before we go ahead and do that, let's go ahead and roll my introduction. Troubles, they don't last always. Troubles, they don't last always. This is why we need an audit, because these books are not clean. People need to be held accountable and stop playing these political games. Because our children deserve better at the end of the day. And we need people to be accountable, transparent, and operate in integrity. Lift your hands up in the church. Thank you, Lord. Because the truth out today. Now the district's exposed. Okay, so we back on Hillsborough now, because you know what? I have just been ooh, Jesus. First of all, we have been talking about Hillsborough and a budget crisis for years. Okay. Right here on this programming, right here, we've talked about it. We've broken down receipts. I even, made a spreadsheet. I made videos. I've shown who was on the finance committee and their roles and their duties as a school board member. Like, we've had those conversations, and we're still here. Okay. So if you didn't hear the news, the building behind me, which is their most known asset in Hillsborough County Public Schools, Rosac, they're actually considering selling their office, their downtown office, after spending so much money renovating the space. So, okay, how we're here. The title's maxed out. First of all, the district... This is why this is so problematic. First of all, there was a warning before destruction. Number two, there were so many things that were changed during the administration change that it should have never happened. There should have been conversations about the budget when that transfer happened. And then money was spent. People was moving places. People got jobs. People, from Clay County then came all the way up here to, Hillsborough County now. And now we're here. This district has ripped lives apart. Literally. You had educators that came up during public comment to explain how they literally had to sit there in fear watching their name being drawn out of a hat. You had educators tell me that they were forced back into the classroom after providing all of the documentation that they cannot be in the classroom. You have educators that had to take a leave because they could not accommodate them working virtually. Now you have the teachers back in the classroom, and then now you're trying to throw virtual learning in at the same time. And then y'all have the audacity, Hillsborough, y'all had the audacity to have these administrators who have not been in the classroom for 5+ years to sit there with a rubric to evaluate these educators while they are trying to do the best that they can teaching in a pandemic. Okay. Meanwhile, y'all wanted to create a marketing campaign so that y'all can have more kids inside. But did y'all not tell the folks that we running out of supplies? Did you not tell the folks? There's some schools that do not have water. The water bottles that was promised, they don't have any. They don't have any water bottles. They shut the water off. Okay. I need a sage for this one because this has just been a long time coming, and I think people really truly need to understand the gravity of the situation, the depths of the situation, and why this is so bad, and why this is so damaging, and why this needs to be national. The stuff that's been happening in Hillsborough County Public Schools should have been national. It should have been national when y'all decided that y'all wanted to purchase police cars for security officers. Y'all have pursuit model vehicles for security officers. And these security officers are driving around in these vehicles all times of day and night, weekends, holidays, everything else, with no justification and no reason. Y'all out here parking all types of ways at Wawa, y'all speeding down the roads, and there's people that are capturing these vehicles on the road and is sending it to me. And what I do, I posted on the internet to figure out why is this, car driving around on a Sunday? Why you have driver ed vehicles with car full of people in a line at Zaxby's? These are the things that people have questions about, because when we talk about we don't have any money, well, we obviously have money for these police pursuit model vehicles to be driving around the city with the graphics and the lights and everything else, but they can't pursue anyone. They can't do anything. They are security officers. Class G security officers. So I'm not understanding why they have the latest and greatest vehicles to be driving around and they can't pursue anyone. When we talk about Rosac and how Rosac has been breathing COVID, so much so that they actually had to test the air in COVID, because there's text messages that's going back and forth between employees where they're saying that people are dropping like flies and they have to quarantine in that building. So much so that school board members were upset that all of this stuff was happening in a building that they work in. This is the building that they're considering selling right here. And so the question of the hour is, who are we holding accountable? Because see, what I hate is such a strong word. I'm gonna keep that. What I hate is when people like to kind of push this under the rug. We have been doing that for so long, Hillsborough County. This is why the spotlight is here. This is why all of this is here. This is here because of you. This is because of the people that you had in positions where y'all decided that y'all wanted to have the buddy club, and y'all decided that you wanted to put your friends in these positions and not pick the best people for the job. And you have unqualified people in these spaces that are not making the best decisions for our children. The district is more likely to protect an adult than a child. That's why we're here. Now, it's all from the funding with Tallahassee, and it's also with the mismanagement of this district and the nerve that you would even think of asking the residents of Hillsborough County to get another tax on top of the tax that they already have due to your mismanagement. Absolutely not. That's not going to happen. It's not going to work. And people are not going to go for that. People want answers. People want to know what happened. And you're not providing any type of real answer. You have Melissa Snively that is quoted with the Tampa Bay Times. She's quoted in the Tampa Bay Times saying that she did not even know that the financial situation was this bad. And I'm like, sis, Melissa, you're on the finance committee. You have intentional conversations with the CFO and 2 other board members. How do you not know about the financial situation in Hillsborough County? And now Melissa allegedly wants to go run for, a different seat in 2024. Absolutely not. Shut it down. Sis cannot even do her job as a school board member in Hillsborough County Public Schools and manage the budget. It's all big on the website. Their duties is to manage a $3.3 billion budget. Well, I just want to know, if we did a job evaluation, what would she receive? Because I'm pretty sure on the rubric, she would need requires action. So this is why you need to be intentional with these folks that are running for office, and be intentional with what they're doing in their office now before they try to go run for something else. Because literally, now allegedly she trying to run for county commission. I don't know. All I know is that she wants to run for something else in 2024, and that can't happen. It can't. Like, these people who have breached public trust cannot be back in office with public trust. Like, it just can't work. Like, Cindy Stewart got a pass. She slid through because, again, she played politics and it won in her favor. But I mean, she ain't gonna be safe forever. She's not. And if you are not doing what's best and you playing games, it will come out into the light. It will. So it's only a matter of time for Cindy Stewart. So the reason why this situation in Hillsborough County is so dire is because, like, let's look at the receipts. Let's look at the facts of what's happening, because I've been said it. So, okay, let's pull up the data for Hillsborough County. Now, this is directly from the Florida Department of Education. I will post the website so that you can actually see it. It actually breaks it down by state, district, and school. And it's like an interactive type of setup where you can get the data. The data that I want to talk to you about is about literacy. And it's really important because that's the foundation of a lot of things. And if you have not realized, or if you don't know, I was served a disservice in education. There's things where, like, sometimes I say things incorrectly. That's because of the way that my brain is working. I'm working on that. But what I said is what I said. Okay. I want you to look at this data and let's break down what this is. So as you can see, that Hillsborough has more level 1s than the state. They have less level 2s than statewide, but they have more in, level 1. And then it kind of breaks down there. You can kind of see. Now, I did this data particularly for Black and African-American students. That's what it says, Black, African-American, okay? And of course, the only data that we have is from the 2018-2019 data. The 2019-2020 data does not exist because the test was not deemed necessary, but it's deemed necessary now. So yeah, that's interesting. So let's do a quick math lesson here. Okay. So for those of you that don't know, according to the FSA standards, level 4 and level 5 is considered proficient. Okay. Level 3 is just acceptable, but 4 and 5 is proficient. And so this is why it's important. So when you add up the percentage of level 4 and level 5 for the Black students in Hillsborough County, there's only 15.3% of Black students that are proficient in reading in Hillsborough County Public Schools. Okay, I want you to hear that again. There's only 15.3% of Black students that are proficient in reading in Hillsborough County Public Schools. So what does that mean? That means that 84.7% of the Black students are not proficient in reading in Hillsborough County Public Schools. So over 80% of the Black kids in Hillsborough County are not proficient in reading. And some of them are not even near grade level. So of course I was like, all right, well, we're going to keep breaking this down because I think that other districts, they need to know about their data too. And so I did. So let's take a look at Pinellas County. Now, I was stunned when I seen this. So Pinellas has a lot of level ones in comparison to statewide margins. Like, wow. Wow. So I was like, all right, well, let's go ahead and do the math. So again, level 4, level 5. So in Pinellas County, there is 10.1% of Black students that are proficient in reading in Pinellas County schools. Only 10.1%. So what does that mean? That means that 89.9%, almost 90% of the Black students in Pinellas County schools are not proficient in reading. If y'all don't think that that's a problem, yeah, is this thing on? In Pinellas, almost 90% of the Black students are not proficient in reading in Pinellas County schools. So then I moved to Manatee. So Manatee is not as bad as Pinellas. And so I did the math. So when we added it together, 12.3% in Manatee County. Black students are proficient in reading. 12.3%. So again, what does that mean? That means that 87.7% of the Black students are not proficient in reading in the school district in Manatee County. These are high number, folks. We are talking an average of 85% in the Tampa Bay area. But oh no, wait, there's more. So Teaching for the Culture added Polk County to the roster. So hey, y'all doing Polk? So I pulled the numbers for Polk. And this is what it breaks down. So you have 12.5 of the Black students are proficient in reading, according to the FSA standards, in Polk County public schools. So what does that mean? That means that 87.5 of Black students are not proficient in reading in Polk County public schools. So I say all that to say that there is a serious problem. And so the more that people decide that they want to dismiss the problem and say that we're doing everything that we can when the data clearly shows that you have people that are even questioning the data that comes directly from the Florida Department of Education. You have people that are questioning the school to prison pipeline report, which is what the ACLU Florida produced from the data they requested from the district. Okay. What makes Hillsboro's situation so unique is Miami-Dade is the largest district in the state. And I had posted about the number of schools that, were failing in Miami-Dade. Well, Hillsborough County has over 9 times that. I need y'all to hear me. Miami-Dade, the largest district in the state, the largest. Hillsborough County has 9 times the amount of failing schools than the largest district in the state of Florida. Not only that, Hillsborough County leads the state in the school to prison pipeline, arresting more juveniles than any other county in the state of Florida. Oh, wait, there's more. Hillsborough County Public Schools leads the lowest 300 list that is prepared by the Florida Department of Education based on literacy. Not only that, But we are also leading the lowest performing schools list, which is a subsection of the lowest 300 list. So when we talk about the budget crisis, we can't even say that this was for educating children. We can't even say that, well, we spent our money and at least our kids are thriving and we have to figure it out. No, 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 no. Our kids are not proficient in reading. Our kids have been served a disservice for quite some time in this district. So where the money is going, that's what we need to know, because it's not going to educate our children, especially when we have 9 times the amount of failing schools than the largest district in the state of Florida. I need y'all to hear the words that are coming out. And I understand that I might not say everything perfect. I have a learning disability. I had an IEP as a child. But hear my heart when I say that this is not okay. And the fact that we have people that pretend that this is okay come when the hype is here to put their 2 cents in, and then when the hype dies down, they're missing. We can't afford that. We can't afford people that want to hop on social media to talk about something that are not willing to pull up their sleeves to do the work. You have people out here doing the work. April Cobb and Denise Thomas created an entire organization targeting to dismantle the school to prison pipeline called the Sunshine Education Coalition. We have community partners with Teaching for the Culture where they're winning awards. They're creating educational programming. They are out here in the community giving back. They're out here mentoring our boys. They're out here writing pieces about choice and making sure that our kids get the best choices out there. There's people doing real work out here. And instead, we are so caught up in mess. Y'all are caught up in mess. And there's most of the mess on social media. You have kids that are fighting. They are fighting, and not the fights that when I was in school. No, they're like ganging up on each other. And it's like 6 to 8 people fighting one person. They are jumping people. They are hurting people. In Pasco, just this week, a child had to be sent to the hospital, and they were posting the videos on Instagram. A child was sent to the hospital because they got severely beaten at school. You had a child that was hit at school after several warnings were given in Hillsborough County. And I'm talking with the parent now, where they kept saying that their child was bullied at school, and they kept calling the child the F word. And then the child ended up getting hit at school, and the child had a big old bruise on his face, and the mom sent me a picture. You have kids that are posting threats on Snapchat, Instagram, and they are making that go viral, and it's scaring our children. You know how many threats we had? We just had a gun at a school in Hillsborough. We just had a threat in Pinellas. This is happening all over, folks. So regardless of where you're at in Tampa, you need to be tapped in. You need to be tapped into the politicians and the school board members that are making decisions for your children. You need to be tapped into who your children are following on social media and what type of influence that they have and who are influencing them. You need to have conversations with your child teacher so that you can help them best support your child. The mindset that we just take our kids to school and they're going to learn everything in school is not how it was designed. It never was designed that way. So please stop. And I understand, parents, you have a lot of stuff going on, but your children out here, they are lost in the world. Your children are writing stuff about how they want to harm themselves. Your children are out here committing sexual acts for likes and views on social media. Your children are getting involved in some really dangerous things. And because you haven't checked the cell phone, because you haven't been intentional with having conversations to figure out how their day was, because you haven't decided to be intentional with their growth and development, they are being groomed, they are being developed right on social media, right with what they see on YouTube, what they see on Instagram, Snapchat, and all of these different apps that come out every single week targeting our children so that these companies can receive a profit. You have 6-year-olds doing TikTok, but they don't even know their sight words. How? Why? Can we please put the value back on education? And I know I look crazy on the internet, and I know that it just seems odd that I'm just here on the internet with a wig and my sage and all that. But I do this because it has to be done for people to really listen to what I'm saying, because you value entertainment. I've created spreadsheets, I've created PowerPoint presentations. That doesn't get the views. But what gets the views is me spilling the tea, giving y'all some receipts and looking crazy on the internet. And that's the craziest thing, but that's where we're at. This is a marketing strategy, folks. I'm here to try to save your children. Your children are getting involved in some really dangerous things online, and y'all have no idea. And I don't know if you know, but just like when I had a conversation with the board last year and I shared it on my page, you know that the fights hasn't stopped. I exposed a whole fight page dedicated capturing the fights all over Tampa Bay. There were fights at Blake, Brandon. I mean, I could go on and list all these schools. They're fighting. They are not being taught conflict resolution. And honestly, I don't think that that's being taught at home, because some of the parents doing the same behaviors that the children are doing on social media. So I can understand it. So this is what I have to say about all of this. I go back to the 7 solutions that I published back in 2019. It was actually picked up by the Tampa Bay Times, but I want to share my article because, I mean, these solutions that I provided, I mean, they're not going to solve everything, but I mean, it's a good start. And it's something that I really, truly believe it. We've had issues with lack of funding in education. We've had issues with, having teachers that need implicit bias training. We have had issues with, discriminatory hiring practices in our school districts. We've had all of those issues, but there's something that's different, and it's these cell phones. Your kids are getting text messages, they're getting DMs, they're getting Snapchats, they're getting FaceTimes all throughout the school day. They're literally sitting in class and they are literally moving their phone out of their pocket to look to see if they have any notifications and what is going to capture their attention. Once they're distracted from that phone, it takes an adult 30 minutes to get back focused on what they were originally doing. That's a study. 30 minutes for adults. So just imagine what that would be for children with a brain that's not fully developed. We are giving our kids so much access to these phones, to these devices, and not monitoring what they're doing, what they're saying, and the contact and access that people have to them. So the 7 solutions, I'll go one by one. But the first one was to increase teacher pay. Okay. And not the foolishness that Ron DeSantis tried to play, where he wanted to increase the salary for new teachers, which if you actually looked at the study of how many new teachers are coming in, you will see that has been declining every single year. That lets you know that there's a problem. Why is the industry dying? Why are we producing less teachers each year? That's something that needs to be discussed. But there should be no reason why a new teacher should be getting paid around the same amount as a person who's been teaching for 10 years. There's no way. That doesn't happen in any other industry, and that should not happen in education, especially when their job is to educate children, is to make model citizens for the world. So when we don't value education, we don't value the community. And this is exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing the effects of not being intentional in education. So we need to increase the pay for teachers. The solution, too, is to have more mental health counselors that are relatable to children. According to the ACLU report, Hillsborough County Public Schools has the lowest school psychologist ratio in the state. So now I can understand our kids are not receiving services and they're being suspended, they're being pushed out. And when they're pushed out, then they're not successful. We are seeing the byproduct of not being intentional. If we had more school counselors and we had more school psychologists and we had more people to actually, address the root issue, which is broken families, broken communities, broken schools, we can do so much for our kids. But that is a willingness to cut the check, the willingness to allow people to do what they need to do. We have to be intentional. And it's so interesting. If you pay attention, you have charter schools, networks where some politicians own it. They have a stake in that. And then they also have a stake in our external operators. And our external operators was a mandate to hold schools accountable. But we've seen the effects of that. We need to have people that are relatable to our kids to help address the root issue. And again, that is trauma. The root issue here is trauma. And the more that we can have conversations and be open and free about it, the more that we can make change. We need to stop having these conversations in private, and we need to stop silencing folks that really have a passion to do what they need to do to move our kids. There's people in the district that have intentionally tried to interfere with people's jobs, people's promotions, because of people's emotion, and it had nothing to do about what was best for kids. Again, districts are more likely to protect their own than the children that they serve. Hey girl, hey Kimberly, she said, because we need to talk about the cultural implications of having counselors who aren't aware of systemic racism and how it impacts our students. Right. Because you have kids that will come to counselors to have conversations. And if you're not aware of systemic oppression, if you're not aware of systemic racism, if you're not aware of what's happening in some of our communities, how can you be the best advocate for our child, for our children? And, it's unfortunate. This is Tampa Bay, folks. All these districts, the data's here. The problem is here. So instead of doing all of these challenges where y'all want to do the silhouette challenge, right? And then now it came out that the people who use the red light filter, people can actually edit those videos and now have your whole naked body on the internet, and they're now posting it and exposing people nude, which is a crime, by the way. But that's happening because you decided that you wanted to follow a trend that everyone was doing, and you decided that you want to do a silhouette challenge. Well, you adults that were doing the silhouette challenge and you want to drop it and bust it and everything else. Well, our kids were doing that too on social media because they seen you do it. So go back to solution 3. Have mediation rooms or spaces that allow children to reset. We need to normalize meditation. We need to normalize reflective thinking so that kids can understand that there is a cause and effect, and understand that my actions or inactions have an award or a consequence. Our kids need to be able to meditate. They need to be able to be in a safe space. And school sometimes is not a safe space, especially when you have all of the trauma carrying on, fights. I mean, it's chaos on some of these campuses, and it's right on social media. You could see it. You can Google a school name, go look on Instagram, go look on Snapchat, and you could see some stuff. If you know who to follow, if you know what to search for, you can find it. When the kids are on Snapchat, they're tagging that they're at the school. So if their account is public and they tag the school, all of their snaps are on Snapchat associated with the school. So, okay. Solution number 4. Encourage social media influencers to create campaigns to address violence in schools. And these social media influencers, the people that are generating dollars to talk to our children, to influence our children, to advertise to our children, all violations of several laws. But you could do anything on YouTube. You have adults that are literally marketing their content directly for children. And you had like 6-year-olds singing like I have murder on my mind. Like come on. Change the music. Okay. I'm sorry, but I'm all about you listening to whatever you want to listen to and all of that stuff, right? But your kids are singing WAP. Your kids are dropping it like it's hot. Your kids are rapping that they're going to shoot and kill somebody. Like your kids are rapping about scamming. Like literally these rap songs nowadays, there's a felony in every bar. A felony. We are rapping about felonies. And then these same rappers will then be influencers on social media and they are recording themselves committing crimes. They're being charged with committing crimes. And then your kids in the comments like, free Kodak. Free Kodak. Change the frequency. Change the frequency. So parents, I'm back to you. Please be intentional with what your kids are watching. Who is their role model? Because if they're watching this influencer over and over again and is excited for their videos to drop, best believe that that's your child's role model. And don't forget that. So please be intentional. Yes, girl. Yes, we will definitely unpack. And yes, I just want to just pause for a moment and just give a shout out to my girl Kimberly. Like, let me tell you something. This girl is a rock star. She's involved with teaching photo culture, and we have a podcast together, The Whole Child, and she is a superstar. She is literally doing some major work in the new state that she's in, and I'm just thankful for her. I'm just thankful for her, and I just love her so much. So yes, Kimberly, you go ahead and kill that Zoom meeting, and continue to advocate for our kids, man. I'm appreciative of you for sure. So number 5, create a task force to observe social media. I've had conversations with superintendents about this, about having a task force to observe behavior on social media, because like the threats and stuff that's taking place, like that happens on social media. There needs to be a way where kids can report things safely on social media, and it be a safe space to where if there's something that's happening, that they can report it safely without it being a big mess. But a lot of the stuff that's happening is recorded on social media. So when the kids decided that they wanted to bring fireworks to school right after the insurrection and scared everybody to death at the school, they were doing that to be funny. There's YouTube videos that are showing people lighting fireworks in public bathrooms for likes and views. Like, go on YouTube. It's a real thing. I'm not making it up. I don't have to make any of it up. I don't have to over exaggerate. I'm literally providing you the receipts. There are children that are on YouTube that are recording where they're putting a penny in a charger to create a spark. And there was a school that had to, call the fire department because the spark was so bad, because they were doing the penny challenge that they saw on TikTok. You have fireworks that are being lit up in the bathroom. Like these are things that are happening in our schools, like in 2021. So, parents, I'm back to you. Solution 6 is to require implicit bias training for officers and our educators, especially with our resource officers, because, you know, first of all, we lead the state in our school to prison pipeline, and Pinellas is third. Pinellas is not far from believe that. But since Hillsborough leads, Hillsborough needs to make some change so other districts can follow suit. So we need to have implicit bias training so that we can have conversations about race, so we can have conversations about tapping into our children, so we can have conversations about cultural differences, so we can have conversations about not giving up on your kids. You have some parents that will take their kids out and will move their kids to a suburban school because they think that that would be the best opportunity and the best option for. They literally pushed me through the system. And when I was in 5th grade, I failed my FSA. That was right after my mom had passed. I failed my FSA, and I had to be in reading classes that those books didn't teach me nothing. I was in reading classes in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and in high school, I had to use one of my electives to be in reading. I wanted to do another elective in music. I went to a predominantly white high school, and I was in reading class, and I was in class with kids that didn't even want to be in school. So just imagine a child that wants to learn, that wants to get out of reading class so that they can have a free elective, and making sure that, you know, they are educated. And you're in a classroom with people that don't want to learn. And then you have a teacher that understands that there's people that don't want to learn, and there's a vast majority of people that don't want to learn in the class because there's nothing that relates to them. They don't see anything. They don't see it. They don't see the curriculum in them. They don't relate to the curriculum. We are reading about things that we don't care about. Our kids don't care about it. They don't. And this is why they don't. So they're reading stuff that's on TikTok because they care about it. And when they read stuff, they're reading phone, FONE instead of PHONE. And so this is why on their papers, they write FONE instead of PHONE, because they've seen it and they've read it on TikTok. Because that's how people spell it. So I you know, people again need to have conversations. And the last solution here is to educate parents to be aware of the dangers of social media and the impacts on children. This is what I'm doing. Social media is something where it's very dangerous. It has some good attributes and it has some really, really bad ones. Social media provides this instant gratification. It provides an award system. It provides dopamine to our kids, if you know, and it provides it to our adults too. If someone double taps on your photo and someone liked your photo, then you're like, oh my gosh, someone liked my photo, and you're like really excited about that. Well, just like our kids. And so when our kids have 20 likes on one video or one picture, and then they have 5 likes on another photo or video, they believe in their mind that it was an ugly photo. They believe in their mind that, oh, maybe they're not pretty or maybe they're not cute, because they see all of these other people that are getting all of these views and likes, and they want that too. And adults have even been caught up in that with the imposter syndrome, where you're watching all of these people on social media and you want to emulate all of these different people because you're like, wow, that's awesome, but you're not being true to you. And when you're not being true to you, that sets up trauma and destruction. And that's exactly what's happening to our kids. And this is exactly why I'm here to talk about it. And I went over my time, but I think that it's really important to talk about all of these things that I talked about today. So the goal for the week is to clear the toxic noise in your head. You can do it. You can be successful, and stop limiting your greatness. Focus on your goals and don't worry about anyone or anything else. Keep pushing. That's your goal for the week. If you would like to have promo on Teaching for the Culture, please reach out to me so that we could talk about some advertising packages. In addition to that, Sunshine Education Coalition will be having their panel on Monday. So please make sure that you tune in to Sunshine Education Coalition on Facebook. These programmings are hosted by Teaching for the Culture, and I'm so excited to be able to help and work with the Sunshine Education Coalition, because it's amazing the work that they're doing and the people that they've had contact with to dismantle the school to prison pipeline. Because right here in your great city, y'all out here praising all of these superstars and all these athletes. Y'all out here celebrating all these athletes, but yeah, our kids can't read, and we lead the state in our school to prison pipeline, and our kids are being served at this service out here. But yet we want to be out here and celebrate all these sports teams, but we can't even celebrate our school system. Priority and values. Anyway, y'all have a great day. I love y'all. Y'all have an excellent week. And for those of you that donated stars and made it rain and gave in the collection plate, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for supporting this work, supporting the movement. And I also got some tea to tell y'all about what happened to me before I go. So I posted about it yesterday, but I wrote like it was a whole like blog article essentially on Facebook. So some people haven't seen it, but like I was a victim of digital harassment because of what I do. My whole employment file with Hillsborough County Public Schools ended up being published on the internet. My social security card, my driver's license, that information was redacted, but the copies of the card were on there. My I-9, my references, my like just my information from the district somehow ended up on the internet on Facebook with a Google account that was created. The Google account that was created was I Don't Give AF. And they decided that they wanted to post this information. So I think that I'm going to have receipt school, because I think people need to understand the difference between what's a receipt and what's not. Like, y'all out here doing all this stuff for what? And I just want to know, like, what was the intention of that? Like, okay, I have nothing to hide. But the fact that my entire employment file with the district was published on a fake page, I got a problem with that. And I also got a problem with how that happened and what went down. So I'm going to spill the tea, but I'm not going to do that on this particular open platform. I'm going to do that on my Patreon, because I'm just not. And I will tell names. I will tell you exactly who requested my files and how it ended up on the internet. And yeah, so the page has been shut down. I'm still waiting on some key folks to be accountable, but that's okay, because there's some people that feel as though that they're just gonna kind of skate through this. But no. I'm coming. I'm coming. It really just kind of kicked me. It's like, dang, I'm out here advocating for kids, and you mean to tell me that y'all so upset? And then one of the people that is involved in the mess wanted to post after my father-in-law died, and said that I was a devil. But he failed to tell the people that he was in violation of district policy, because he was working on people's campaigns, and he was working with the NAACP, and he was doing work for other entities while he was supposed to be teaching ESC students, the most vulnerable population. You were supposed to be teaching ESC students, and you're out here managing political campaigns in violation of policy. But yet I'm the devil, because I called you out on what you should not be doing. And my issue was more with the school board member that should know the policy and should know that that's not okay. It wasn't personal about you. So, I mean, I just want to just say that, this fight has really exposed a lot of people in different ways. And I just want people to be intentional, to wake up. Be mindful of the people that are talking and who are just talking, or the people who are talking and doing something. Because again, you have people that are flexing on this internet. But anyway, I'm gonna let it go, let God. If you want to know the full story of what happened and how my personnel file in Hillsborough County Public Schools got published on the internet, it's gonna be on my Patreon, and I'm gonna tell the names and tell the T. And it's just so interesting how local chapters of the NAACP are responsible. Ooh, let me sip my tea. All right, I love y'all. Y'all have a great day. Y'all be blessed. And you know what? Like I said, if you don't have no receipts, please keep my name out your mouth. And until next time. Please keep my name about your mouth and mind your business.